Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild with the underrated weapons series, and today, as we're sneaking up on this Gemsbok, we are going to go over the guns that we're going to be using. And yes, I said guns. We're actually going to be looking at two different guns today, and the reason that we're doing two of them is because they're both default weapons. They don't require any DLC at all, and I think both of them are pretty underrated. Now, a lot of you might disagree and say, well, Scarecrow, these are both guns that a lot of people use, and though that may be the case for some people, there's a lot of people that overlook these weapons and go with other options. And the first one of these rifles that we're going to take a look at as we're sneaking up on these Gemsbok is the 243. It's one of my favorite rifles for small game, and though a lot of you might be thinking that this is not an underrated weapon, because I'm sure a lot of you do use it, it definitely gets overlooked because of the Mosin. The only reason I currently don't use the Mosin and stuff like that is because of the fact that it's got a bit of an accuracy issue at long range. A lot of people don't actually know this, but it still does have accuracy issues, so I've been going with the 243 for quite a while now, and I gotta say, it does get a lot more hate than it deserves. The 243 is still a very solid option for those small game animals, and it does really well even up to something like a black-tail deer, though it will kill them a bit slower. For stuff like the feral goats and anything that's class 2 to 3, the 243 is amazing, and something that it can do that the Mosin can't is take a class 2 animal, so you can hunt stuff like coyotes and foxes with it, where with the Mosin you're actually not able to do that. And I think that alone makes it a very underrated weapon. Now, the second rifle that we're going to be using today is actually the 338. A lot of people take the 300 Magnum over this rifle, but the 338 is a classic when it comes to the big game rifles in Call of the Wild. Back a long time ago, this was the only big game rifle that we had, and it's what everybody used. And it really is a great gun. It still has a lot of power. The thing that really makes it fall behind the 300 is the fact that it only has a single shot instead of a 4-round magazine. So unfortunately, that causes a lot of people to overlook it, but it's still a very solid rifle and has a lot of power. So we're going to be looking at both of those today because I do think they both get kind of a lot of hate for no reason. And as always, guys, if we can get this video to 300 likes, we will do another video in this series. The last video is almost at 500 likes now, which is absolutely incredible. You guys absolutely blow it out of the water every single time. It's honestly incredible the amount of support that this series has gotten. That's why I continue to do them, because you guys have really been enjoying them and showing that you love it. And, well, let me know down below what you guys would like to see for the next one, because I do like taking suggestions for these underrated weapons videos, because even though I have a pretty good understanding of most of the guns in the game, there's always a chance that I might have overlooked something. So if you have a gun that you really want me to do in this series, please leave it down in the comments below. The only ones that I am not going to do is stuff like the 357 or the 45 Colt, because as I've explained in a previous video, both of those are just bad. They're not actually underrated. They're never used for good reason. And the same goes for something like the 223. It's not a great gun, so don't even bother with the 223. Not gonna do it either. As we get lined up on this Gemsbok, if you guys have not already, be sure to subscribe, click the like button, and ring that notification bell so you guys will never miss any of the new uploads. And that is going to be the first victim of the 338 today. Let's see how it did. It killed it pretty quickly, so I'm guessing it did pretty great. Now, the main reason that I chose Virunga Savanna today is because the 338 can take, I think, 3 of the animals here. It can take the lions, the Cape Buffalo, and it can also take the Gemsbok. And then for the 243, we have smaller stuff like the Kudu, the Springbok, the Warthog, and stuff like that. And I believe the Jackal as well. So I figure this would be a great map to test both of these rifles out on, and the first kill with the 338 did really well. Almost went all the way through the animal, actually, at 96 meters. Not bad at all. It kills them incredibly quick. Right there is a few more Gemsbok. Let's go ahead and get lined up on this one from a slightly farther distance at 150 meters roughly. Let's see how it does from this range. It should be pretty much the same, I would imagine. And yeah, it's dying incredibly fast, just like the last one did. That just shows the power of the 338. It's such a good gun. Oh my gosh, yes! Oh my gosh! I have not seen a level 5 Springbok in so long. This is amazing. I think that might be the Bighorns. I can't quite tell. I think it is, though. That is amazing. We'll be able to take this thing out with the 243 as well, so we'll get to take a look at that rifle and see what it can do against a Springbok, but that is amazing. Let's make sure nobody's near us. I don't want to accidentally have this get taken by somebody else, but it looks like we are the only one over here. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting to see a level 5 Springbok. That's amazing. And since we are in multiplayer, I'm going to try not to pick up too many tracks because I don't want to make the game crash. That would be really bad at this moment. But there is our Gemsbok. That one actually did left lung, right lung, and liver. I'm surprised it didn't kill it even quicker. I think it died at exactly the same speed as the double lung did, but we got more problems. We got to take down this level 5 now. Oh my gosh. They are right in front of us. I don't know where the 5 is, but these Springbok are right in front of us. Let's have our dog sit so that we don't get pushed around by him. We need to hopefully get a little bit further up so we can actually see these guys better. They're a bit over a hill, and it's making it very difficult to actually see where they are. So we're going to try and move up closer and do what we can. I think that might be... Maybe not. That might be... No, that's definitely not him. Well, I'm going to look around for him, and once I find him, then we will take him out. There it is. There's our level 5 right there. Let's see if we can actually get its attention. Yep, we definitely did. Let's get lined up on it. I think this is going to be our chance. And just like that, we got a level 5 down. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. It's been so long since I've seen one of these, like I was saying, so I'm actually really excited to get this down, and it looks to be a pretty decent one. I cannot remember if that's the big rack or the small rack. I think it's the big one. Or not big rack, but big horns, but you guys know what I mean. I don't fully remember the difference between the big and small horns, but I think this might be the big horns. It definitely looks bigger than any of the level 4s that I've seen, and if I'm not mistaken, the small level 5 and the big 4s are the same. But that is super awesome. Let's go ahead and get a screenshot of this because that is really cool. Alright, let's go ahead and claim this thing. I'm super excited to see what it will score. And it is a diamond at 113. Wait, is that max weight? I'm not entirely sure what max weight is for these. That seems like a max weight type number. And that seems like max score. I think it might be. If so, that is incredible. This is by far the best one I've ever killed. This will definitely replace something in our lodge. I'm absolutely blown away. And the 243 did great as I expected. Perfect double lung. The 243 is incredibly underrated. I still don't understand why a lot of people seem to think that it's not that great for class 2 and 3 animals, because it actually is really good. But that is definitely the highlight of the week for me. I don't think we've killed anything quite this cool in about a week, so that is awesome. Even though that might be one of the smallest lions I've seen in a very long time of playing this game, I kinda am thinking it's gonna be perfect for what we're gonna do though, and that is a 300-meter shot with the 338. I think this guy is going to be perfect. Let's just real quickly get his attention, try to get him to stop if we can, and then get a shot into him. That looked solid, and it definitely was. So it definitely kills slower from 300 meters on a lion, but still does pretty well. No worse than what the 300 would do. Well, there we have a warthog. While we're going down to grab that lion, we might as well test out the 243 on this little guy right here. And that looked to be a solid hit. Yeah, it definitely is. I think it was probably a single lung, though. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Well, it's bugged fleeing, so it's an easy shot, but wow. What is going on? What is going on? I saw absolutely nothing in those Gemsbok herds, and then the second I started going to other species, we've found 2 diamond potentials, that big Springbok and now a lion. This is ridiculous. I am just... I'm blown away, honestly, because I spent so much time trying to get a Diamond Lion a while back and just never got even close to doing so. And now I just find one randomly while trying to record an underrated weapons video, like of all the times to run into this. That is just amazing. Let's see what it ends up scoring. So this one is 48.90. That is a really nice lion. I think max score is 50 if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely nowhere near max, but that's only the second diamond lion I've ever killed. That's so awesome. I am really happy I decided to go to Virhonga today. Otherwise, I never would have been able to get this. And honestly, 338 did great on this at this range. Absolutely destroyed it at 100 meters. Another reason why the 338 is just a great gun. It takes down a lion really quickly. We need to test it on a Cape Buffalo soon as well, but man, we've just been running into so much cool stuff. Alright, well, here is our little warthog. Let's go ahead and take a look at this little guy. It is just a silver, and we got right lung liver. So, with the right lung liver, it died relatively slowly, but that's kind of to be expected. We need to get a little bit of a better shot on one of these to fully understand the power of the 243 versus something like a warthog. They're definitely one of the smaller things in the class 4 category, so I wonder what it'll do on something like a kudu that's a little bit bigger. And now let's go ahead and take a look at this one that we shot from 300 meters, because this is the one that I'm really interested in. Let's see exactly the type of damage we had here. So that was a double lung, and as we saw, it died a little bit slower, but it still did pretty decent. I mean, no worse than what the 300 would be able to do at this distance, and it still had enough penetration to get into both lungs. So honestly, 338's a great gun. I really don't understand why it is hated so much, and I'm thinking that we should probably try and unlock that championship version of it soon. After seeing Flinter get it, I honestly really want to get that thing now. It's such a cool looking rifle, and I think it could be a pretty cool addition to our rifle collection. I also need to get the Grankin shotgun at some point. Those are two that I've just not even tried to go for, and I really need to. The only reason I haven't gone for them is because you have to do missions to complete them, so one of these days we'll try to do that. Well, we do have a few Cape Buffalo out here, so I'm thinking now is going to be the perfect time to use the 338 on one of these guys. And I think this level 6 is giving us the best shot that we could possibly get, so let's just take that shot real quickly. And it's already starting to go down, and that's just the power of the 338. I'm pretty sure we hit the shoulder as well, so even more impressive. And here's that Cape Buffalo that we took out. Let's go ahead and check the damage. We did hit left scapula, and we were still able to get into the left lung, and it killed it relatively quick. It's one of the things that makes this a great rifle. We're gonna have to see what double lung does, but it went through the scapula and only got one lung, and still did great at taking it down quickly. So I would imagine double lung, if we're able to even get that, is probably just gonna absolutely decimate it. That right there is a level 2 female jackal, which is going to be a great thing to use the 243 on. I have not shot a jackal with the 243 in a while, so I'm honestly not entirely sure how it's even... Oh, are you kidding me? What am I even doing anymore? This is crazy. I have not seen this much good stuff off of a Virhonga server in forever. And the person that's currently host of the server is not the original host, so I can't even see like what level the host was, but I couldn't imagine he was that high of a level. This has just been crazy. Let's try to get that to stop. I don't even know what to say anymore. That is just incredible. Let's see if we can get it to go broadside. I have not seen an albino lesser kudu in ages. This has just been one of those hunts where everything is going right, and of course it's going to be on a day where I wasn't even looking for diamonds or rares. I was just here to make a video on underrated weapons, and we're finding such cool trophies. This has just been an incredible day of hunting, and it honestly could not have came in at a more perfect time. It's been a very long time since we've had a server that's just what you would call, I guess, a like honey hole server, or I don't know if that's the correct way to phrase it, but there's just those servers every once in a while where they're just absolutely incredible, and there's really no way to explain it. But I know that a lot of you that do like to multiplayer hop here in Call of the Wild probably understand what I'm getting at. It's not very often that you get a server where there's just a lot of good trophies, but when you do, it's one of the most incredible feelings in Call of the Wild, knowing that you've got a map that's just producing awesome trophy after awesome trophy. And that right there is an upper neck shot on a side-striped jackal. Wow. You know, not gonna lie, I did not think we hit the neck, and I'm kind of impressed that we managed to make that shot. But I'm definitely more interested in this little kudu right here, because it's been probably 3 years since I've killed an albino kudu. The last one I killed was an almost diamond level 4 male, and though this is just a female, that's super cool. And since we do have a multi-mount that can take female kudu, we're gonna tax this, and we're gonna put it in one of our multi-mounts. This has just been a wild day. We're getting so many cool things that we can actually put in our lodge, which also really doesn't happen much anymore. It's not too often that we actually get to put new stuff in our lodge, because most of the trophies in there are gonna be permanent additions, but once again, this is the 3rd trophy today that is actually gonna have a place in our main lodge. This has just been incredible. I honestly don't even know what to say other than that. It's just been crazy. And what's even crazier is the current host of the server had already been hunting through this area, so the fact that they missed out on that and we were able to get it is kind of wild, because there's hunting pressure all over this area. There was more, but it's kind of been cleared up. Just absolutely insane luck today. And I guess since this guy's bugged, we might as well shoot it as well, just to kind of get a better idea of what the 243 can do. And yeah, it looked to be a pretty solid hit, or maybe it wasn't bugged. I guess it just wasn't fleeing yet. Honestly, at this point, the only thing that could make this day better is if we got an albino lion or an albino male kudu or something crazy like that. I'm definitely going to continue hunting on this server, because I've got a feeling it was a very low-level host, and I have no way of knowing what the original host's level was, because he ended up leaving before I got a chance to look. But that was a double lung and vertebrae shot, and it dropped it pretty quickly. And honestly, it dropped the female pretty quickly as well, so the 243 is very solid against something like a kudu. Honestly, it's doing better against the kudu than it did on that warthog, which is kind of surprising, but you know, can't complain, it's doing great. You know, considering the fact that the Diamond Springbok and that little albino kudu were both shot while they were just traveling, and the lion I'm pretty sure was shot as it was leaving its drink zone, and because all those were shot in that type of a way, I think we're just gonna roam around in the plains of Virhonga Savannah, because it seems to be working out for us. We haven't really killed anything at its drink zone that was a diamond or a rare today. All of them have been kind of just roaming around, so I'm wondering if maybe I should just start looking for herds and see if we can find anything crazy good, because it seems to be working, and I'm wondering if maybe because not a lot of people do that, we'll have some good luck at finding things that other people might have missed. Well, we traveled our way over to this lake, and it looks like it's actually Springbok drink time now, so we might as well try to take out another Springbok. We didn't really get to shoot more than one today, so, oh, there's the north bug, but let's go ahead and try to take this thing out. It is a pretty decent level 4, so let's go ahead and just see how the 243 does on them. This is going to be a longer shot than the last one, so I'm kind of curious. And it looks to be pretty good. Let's get one more, just so we can have a second one to test it on. And that's actually another good size 4. And we absolutely dropped it. Wow. And we absolutely dropped that one as well. The 243 is just doing work today. Those last two had to have been hard shots. There's absolutely no way that that was just double lung. It had to be hard. Well, we got a good amount of Springbok to pick up, so let's go ahead and start doing that. Let's check how this one went. So that's actually what happened. We shot it in the vertebrae and double lung. So it wasn't a heart shot, it was a vertebrae shot, but that's a good sized Springbok, and a vertebrae and double lung will drop it on the spot, it seems. That's pretty good to know. And honestly, that's not that hard of a shot to make. I think you can pretty commonly hit vertebrae and double lungs, so that might be a really good option to go for with the Springbok, although it is a bit of a risky one because you could end up missing it and hitting just the spine, which would not be good if you're going for something like a diamond. But there's the first one we shot, double lung at 200 meters, and it didn't run all that far. It killed it off pretty quickly, but I definitely find that, at least for me personally, I like the 243 better than the Mosin, just because it can take both the Class 3 and the Class 2 animals. And it honestly has plenty of power. The Mosin may be a little bit quicker to kill, but I don't know, there's just something about the 243 that I like more, and it's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do it for an underrated weapons video, because a lot of people overlook it because of the Mosin. And then last but not least, we have this little one right here that we dropped on the run. This one was indeed a heart shot. Right lung, left lung, and heart. That is a pretty impressive shot, especially for something that was on the run at 217 meters. 243 is just absolutely doing work today. Well, I think on that note, it's probably time to jump into the lodge and take a look at all the awesome trophies we managed to get off of that multiplayer server. But before we do, let's just real quickly talk about the weapons that we used today. The 243 performed incredibly well against stuff like the Springbok, and even things like the Kudu it did really well against. Unfortunately, we didn't get to take too many Jackal. I think we only shot one of them, and it ended up being a neck shot, but since they're the smallest animal, they're most likely going to die in one shot to the vitals right on the spot without running anywhere. And surprisingly, the Kudu and the Springbok did not run far at all, which I was pretty impressed with because I usually don't take class 4 animals with it. I tend to stick to just class 2 and 3s, and then for the class 4s I would use something like the M1 or the 303, but it was kind of nice to see that it does great on stuff like the Kudu. And then as far as the 338 goes, as we saw, it did really well on pretty much every animal that we shot with it. It did great on the lions, it did great on the Cape Buffalo and the Gemsbok as well. And I think the most surprising thing was just how quickly it kills the Cape Buffalo. And that is the reason that I think both of these guns are very underrated, and I think the only reason the 338 doesn't get used is because it's a single shot and the 300 Magnum is almost as quick to kill, but has 4 shots before you need to reload, which that alone makes a lot of people not want to use the 338, but it really does have a ton of power, and if you're looking for something that's reliable that will just knock an animal down very reliably, then I'd say the 338 is the way to go. It's definitely a good gun for taking out diamonds, that's for sure. So we are about to take down one of my oldest multi-mounts in my lodge and replace the female with the brand new Albino. I have not touched this mount for so long because until now I didn't really have anything to put in it, but now that we've got this Albino female, we can actually have an all albino Kudu mount, and this guy when I killed him was like a 926. Unfortunately, with one of the recent updates, it bugged them out and it no longer shows the old scoring system, it shows the new scoring system, and they're not even the correct scores anymore, so that's really unfortunate, but it was a 926 when I shot it, so it is one of the biggest rares I have from Virhonga Savannah, but let's go ahead and try to build this mount. And just like that, we have one of the coolest Virhonga Savannah multi-mounts that I have been able to put together. That is so cool. I could not be happier with any mount from that map, honestly. The only thing that's better is our Albino Lion and our Diamond Red-Brown Cape Buffalo that are in a multi-mount together, but this is really amazing as well. Now all we need to do is find ourselves a melanistic female, and then we'd have a melanistic multi-mount as well. I decided to do a little bit of rearranging of this wall right here, so I put our brand new Springbok right there, and our old Springbok is across from it. And then I also decided to put our scrub hair right here, and then we got our Kudu and our wildebeest as well. So I moved a few things around, and I think that's looking great. The question is, what pose we want here? Honestly, that looks pretty good right there. I'm really liking that. And the more I look around, the more I realize that we don't actually have a place to put this lion, because the lion that we have up here, I think, is actually the same, if I'm not mistaken, or at least it's very close, so we're probably not going to put the new lion in here. It's just going to go into one of our secondary lodges, so I guess on that note, let's go ahead and end the video there. If you guys are brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, click the like button, and ring that notification bell so you guys will never miss a video. Remember, we are trying to get to 300 likes on this video so that we can do another one in the underrated weapons series. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's get it to over 300 likes, and then we will do the next episode. I really appreciate all of the amazing support from all of you on the channel. It's been absolutely incredible, and it just blows my mind that there's this many people out there that enjoy the content that I make and want to see me make more. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for all of the amazing support, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!